Welcome back to Sidetracked. I'm Mike.
And I am Jason.
And today we're going to talk about streaming services and ruining basic cable.
Yes, we are. And we're going to talk a little bit about reality TV. Because I think that that's kind of the downfall. That's when cable TV started to be like, oh, nobody's doing anything real anymore. Why am I paying for this? And it made it so much easier to get rid of. I personally have gotten rid of cable. And I don't think you have, right? No. So you still have it.
I have to find something that incorporates everything that I want.
So we're like two sides of the same coin. Because we both understand it, but we haven't done the same thing with it, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. So, I guess, what was it? This month, Netflix releases 13 Reasons Why, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
we watched that.
Mystery Science Theater 3000 remake.
You've watched that?
Or I watched that. I watched that. And supposedly, I haven't watched 13 Reasons Why yet, but hits it out of the park with that one. And Mystery Science Theater 3000 hits it out of the park with that one.
13 Reasons Why was interesting, and we can talk about it a tiny bit because it's kind of controversial. Half the people think it was a really interesting, it's about a suicide. I don't know if you got the gist of it or not.
I was reading articles about how it glorifies suicide.
It does.
Okay.
And in some ways, it does like a really good service to like that whole. I don't want to call it a process, but I guess for this person, it was a process. And then in other ways, it's like I don't want to ruin it because I'm sure you'll watch it at some point. It was good enough that you'll probably watch it. It was kind of glorifying in some ways and interesting to see in other ways that they didn't like shy away from certain things. Yeah. So it was cool. But yeah, it was good. Mm-hmm. Lots of people have said it was good. Mystery Science Theater 3000.
I know, right? It's
MST3K.
There you go.
Is
the moon.
Always good.
It's a classic. And then you have Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt coming back in May. I don't know how much longer that's going to go, but it's still, last season was still really good.
Yes.
So it's tough to find unless it involves Adam Sandler.
Not great thing on Netflix.
A Netflix original that doesn't drop the ball. They just crush it every single time. And then you go to basic cable and you try to find a show that lives up to that hype.
Yeah, how many channels do I have to go, not including premium channels like HBO, Showtime, whatever. How many channels do I have to put together before I get the same number of quality shows as Netflix has with just the $10 a month subscription service? And
because I'm thinking of like shows that I love that came from basic cable. You have Community, you have Firefly, you have Family Guy's kind of run of its course, but
those aren't even basic cable; those are free over the air channels.
Yeah,
which is even better.
Yep, basic channels.
That costs nothing.
Yeah. So like there were quality cult classics that just got nixed for some reason or just didn't survive. And there's more. There's plenty of more where those came from.
And I don't think there's as much to subsidize that failure. As soon as they see something dipping, they're like, we have to cancel this and get something else. Because obviously all of these things are owned by enormous conglomerate parent companies and whatever. But I feel like they have more at stake with everything that doesn't work well than like an AMC or an FX or one of those channels that's kind of like well known for doing they're basic cable, right?
I don't know
if they're included
or not. Well, I thought basic cable is 8 through 13.
No, I think basic cable is
WBEE or whatever.
Basic cable is like the cheapo package of like 50 channels.
Gotcha.
So whatever's on that, I don't know if those are or not. Probably not.
For the most part, I think.
But anyway, it doesn't really matter. But I think that those channels have to be they can take more risks than an ABC or a CBS or a Fox.
That's what I don't get, right? Is that when you look at you just slapping the crap out of your mic. what I don't get is that you have like AMC, FX. They take the risks, but they're more dependent on people wanting to keep their channels as a part of their subscription. Where you have ABC, NBC, Fox, they don't really take the risk. They did. Fox did with Constantine, and they
got rewarded by terrible everything.
Yeah.
They'll never do it again.
They took a risk with that, but for the most part, they don't take risk. But they're the ones in the driver's seats that could take the risk because they're not going to lose their viewers.
Well, and the funny thing is, I think FX is owned by Fox.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, how does FX go and do all of these things? Because I think that some of the shows on FX would certainly have worked on an ABC or a normal channel, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Freebie over the air channel. I think they had Sons of Anarchy.
I don't think that'd be okay.
I think it really would be.
Really? Mm-hmm. Drug cartels and.
Mm-hmm. I think it would have. It's something you have to put on later, obviously. Yeah. But I think that's like. I mean, how many doctor shows do you fucking need on TV at a time?
Chicago
like
Medical.
Every single channel has like ER was really good once upon a time, and they've been retreading ER for the last 25 years.
And you would think at one point with all these medical shows, they would start to get stuff right about. Like,
yeah, no, it's still inaccurate as shit all the time. Inaccurate. So it's like, why not? If you're doing that, you're showing people bleeding to death every single day. Why not do that? You're doing the same thing. You're showing people saving people or killing people, but you're doing it with an interesting story around it instead of I work in a hospital and this is what happened today.
Yeah, but like those shows they still fit within the culture norm, right? It's someone's bleeding and dying.
But did Lost?
But you're trying
Lost was
to
on
save
ABC
them.
for a jillion years. That was like the farthest thing from normal culture that
but
there is.
It didn't challenge social norms, right? That's what shows like. Look how remember when The Walking Dead had 2 gay guys and they made out? The backlash that AMC got for that.
That's true. And that show is a little different too. But I guess when you think about it, there are things like what's that other AMC show? Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Where AMC and, well, not AMC specifically, but I feel like there are more shows on cable that have the protagonist is an actual antagonist in real life. So Sons of Anarchy, like you are an outlaw biker gang. You were doing illegal shit all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You are bad guys.
Yes.
Guy who's making meth. I don't care why you're making meth and selling it. You're making meth and selling it. You are a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like to culture. But they do such a good job with the shows that you like are rooting for these bad guys. So I guess I can see why they wouldn't do that on regular TV.
Yes,
because that is a little more.
They don't want mom and pa.
Yeah, to be like, hey, meth's okay. Meth,
dealers.
good guys do meth. So that's I suppose that's true.
And I don't want to take away. There are some good shows on there, but a lot of it's just laugh track stuff, right?
I mean, I can't remember the last good show.
I mean,
The Office was on TV. Parks and
This
Rec.
Is Us is getting pretty.
This Is Us is awesome.
I
watched that. It's like. Did you ever watch any of those other nonsense ones? Like ever since I've been with my wife, we have watched. It started with Brothers and Sisters. That was a show that was kind of like this.
Like those.
And then Parenthood.
Yeah.
And then this.
No, I haven't watched any of those.
It was like doop, doop, doop. It was just like one ended and one started up like in its place every single time. So I've kind of gone through that thing. And it's definitely as good, if not better, than those other ones that are like this.
I've been watching... I was going to say This Is Us. We just talked about that. Life in Pieces. So that's more of a Modern Family type take, not as much because Modern Family is not a laugh track, but it has a laugh track feel. So it's kind of like that. It's in between This Is Us and the Modern Family, but it's still really good.
There are a couple shows we watch. So I guess the other thing is that I don't watch any of this stuff live on TV.
No, I watch it.
I watch it on Hulu.
Oh, see, I don't watch.
So I have Hulu, I have Netflix, and I have Sling. All of those together are cheaper than cable.
You know what we should do? We should. Oh, I shouldn't tell. Someone's going to steal my idea. Should make a service that packages streaming services
to get you exactly what you want.
What you want.
Hey, so you want original content and you want the things on TV. You need this.
But I used to watch Hulu, but still commercials, and
we have
some of their shows are like you can only watch
their original shows are actually increasing in quality to the point where I think they're going to blow up pretty soon.
Really?
They have a show called The Path, which is about like a religious cult.
Oh, yeah.
Super interesting.
Yep.
They had a show about fortune tellers or something, like pretend mediums. It was called, what was it called? It had the guy from that really bad show in it. Burn Notice.
Oh,
The main guy
yeah,
from Burn
yeah.
Notice plays like a
Really bad show.
like a psychic. But that show was really good. They have a show where there's a guy who can talk to ghosts. He's like a stoner. Deadbeat. That one's really good.
Yeah.
So like they're like slowly ramping up the quality of their original content to the point where like I feel like it's going to be like Netflix, where it's like, oh, I really have Netflix for the awesome shows they put out, but it's cool that I can go watch that movie that they have too.
Yeah.
I feel like Hulu is going to get to that same point at some point.
Netflix is going to be banking on their Disney exclusives because Doctor Strange is coming out next month for it.
Oh, really? Well, they were supposed to have Force Awakens on, I guess they did in Canada, like 6 months after it was released.
Yeah,
which is stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's not stupid. They do whatever they have to do to make money. But
yeah. But, that goes to, I got rid of my Hulu, right? Because the commercials and there's like weird stipulations on some of their shows. Like some of the ones I wanted to watch, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they only aired the 5 most recent ones.
Right.
I'm like, well, I'm getting this so I can watch these shows and I can't watch them, so I got rid of it. And the quality at the time, their personal shows were not that like, great. Deadbeat was really the only one they had at the time. Yeah, I remember
when they had like nothing else out.
Yeah.
Oh, The Other Mans. Did you ever watch that?
No.
That one's really good. That one's about like 2 British guys that like they pick up a phone, like they found like a phone on the street and they like picked it up and it's just like them on this like wild adventure of like someone thinks like it's like a mistaken identity thing.
Yeah.
And it's like the 2 of them and it's ridiculous, but it's funny. They also have a good show called Casual. Like I've watched some of all of it.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's getting better. I understand why some people like, I don't know, what was it, 2 years ago, I guess, at this point? Mm-hmm. Like 2 years ago, it was like, here's a place you can watch things that you can get from the
CBS,
TV's website anyway.
Yeah.
And it was like, I understand why nobody paid for that.
And that's the thing is that I think it's CBS has a show coming out that is only for their CBS streaming service. They played the first episode on TV, but the rest of it you had to watch via CBS Access, which you had to have a membership for.
Really?
An access for, and I cannot remember.
Well, they're gonna start. They're gonna start doing that.
But
everyone's going to start.
And that's
doing
the thing is that.
Well, they watch HBO Go, and they're like, "Oh my God, look at all the money we could be having." Like people will pay for $20 to just have HBO Go per month.
Mm-hmm. And
people will.
That falls into what's filling the void.
Mm-hmm.
Reality TV.
Yeah. Like there is, you would be hard pressed to find a channel
that doesn't have it
in the entire guide that doesn't have at least one.
Oh yeah, every sports channel has a reality TV show. Yeah. NFL Network has Path to the Draft, where they follow draftees around.
Hard Knocks.
You have
HBO.
Friday Night Lights that follows high schoolers trying to make it to college.
Even Netflix. Was it Netflix? I think Netflix did it. The one with the Chad Kelly team, but not Chad Kelly wasn't on it. What the hell is that called? I can't think of what that was called. But it was basically there's like a community college where people go when they get in trouble, and they have like a ridiculous like football program.
Yeah.
So it's like the place that you go to get like your grades up and like get back on a college football team. I can't remember what that's called.
It's the one Randy Moss went to.
Yeah, and Chad Kelly and some other people, but I can't remember what it's called. I should have done more research before this. I'm sorry.
Well,
it's on Netflix. It's called something.
Yeah, it's called something. Brought to you by somebody.
Hard Knock You? Hard something?
You?
Last Chance You. Last Chance You is what it's called. That's what it is. But they have
is that more of a documentary? That's more like a documentary, though?
But it's also kind of like it's in the same vein as
reality
like Hard Knocks.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true.
If you want to call Hard Knocks. So.
But yeah, I loved the History Channel when I was going to school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you know me, history major, love history. Love the History Channel, love History International, things like that. Reality TV, Pawn Stars. swamp monsters,
Swamp
swamp
people.
people,
Swamp monster.
Alaskan mountain men,
Ice road
truckers. And there's something like there are reality TV shows I have a guilty pleasure for, and I'm not afraid to admit that, right? Like Amazing Race. Love Amazing Race.
Yeah, my wife and I have watched, since we've been together, so almost 9 years, we've watched that Real World, well, it used to be called Real World Road Rules Challenge, but now I think it's just called The Challenge. We watch that every year.
They don't actually do Real World. Or
they do still do Real World.
What?
Isn't that insane?
When?
They have like 30 million seasons of it.
Really?
We don't watch that.
Yeah.
We just watch like the trash heaps that come out of that show.
Big
and
Brother.
It's just like,
love Big Brother.
Big Brother, I hate Big Brother, but it's been on for like 30 years.
Yeah.
It's
it's
like
been on forever.
super old.
There's nowhere I'm
Survivor and Big Brother were like the first two.
Well, like Survivor, what?
Right?
I'm trying to think what triggered it. Was it Survivor?
I think it was Survivor.
Well, because Road Rules and all that came out first. But was it because Survivor was on basic cable?
I think so. Because
Survivor, when it first came out, like people were like
die hard about it.
Well, it's like it was actual surviving. Like they were
like
starving.
That guy, like that guy like almost died. There was someone who like fell in the fire. Yeah, I remember that.
Like it was actual. Now it's just like, oh, here now you can go win a trip to a hotel.
Yeah.
But we'll give you plenty of food. Where's the fun in that? But
I feel like that's an off the chain reaction, though.
Yeah.
People were like, wait, how much money did you have to spend on this? Just camera costs and then the prize money? That was it?
Yeah.
Like your production cost per show wasn't, you didn't have to pay an actor $1 million each to do Friends or Seinfeld or one of these like enormous sitcoms.
Yeah.
Like,
I can give $500,000 to somebody.
Yeah. I can give someone, one person $500,000. The rest of them get nothing. And there are actors, quote unquote, for an entire season.
Yeah.
And we just have to pay for the people who are filming it. That's all we have to do. And like the supplies and equipment or whatever the hell else you do. And they're like, yes, let's do that. You mean I'm going to watch this swamp person ride around in a boat and shoot alligators and we don't have to do anything?
Well,
we put a camera in a boat and pay that guy like 2 rusty nickels at the end of the day and that's it?
There was a show and it got canceled midway through production. And I cannot remember it and I'll have to look it up. But essentially they were out in the woods and they had to live in the woods for like 3 or 4 months, whatever. Actually, I think it was longer than that. I think it was almost half a year to a year. And the show got canceled, and nobody told the people that it was canceled. So they were.
That was the one where they were dome people. They lived in like a dome.
That happened. That's all that.
You remember we talked about that a long time ago.
That too.
And they like didn't know that their thing got canceled.
Yep.
And so they were like living this like whatever thing like without anyone telling them.
But and I. Also, like, I really enjoy, like, Deadliest Catch. I like reality TV where someone's doing a job and I'm watching them do their job. Yeah, there's some stupid drama in there, but I like seeing, like, people do
Well, that's kind of
work.
like how it's made, almost.
Yeah.
And that's not a reality show, but that was interesting. It was like,
It's
how
kind
do
of
you make a, I don't know, a thing?
Yeah.
That was a very good example. How do I make
all the stuff in this room? You're like, how do I make stuff?
I was overwhelmed. I had choice. Ooh, I dropped my keys on the ground. How do you make this microphone? How do you make that chair? How do you make floor tile? Like all of these things, it's like, oh, that's cool. I never would have thought that was made that way. And that's kind of the same concept of watching someone do a job that you're not familiar with.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know, how hard is it to drive a truck in the snow?
Correct.
In Alaska or wherever the hell they are. And it's like, sometimes it's hard, is what I've learned from watching 1 or 2 episodes of that in my whole life. Sometimes you crash a truck.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
But it just, is it going to end? Because like you said, Netflix is doing it. Hulu has a reality
Yeah, and
TV
some of them
show.
are doing it more than others. And I think that as this kind of gets back to, I don't think that the current model is going to live forever. I don't think you're going to have cable for that much longer. Mm-hmm. Because all cable channels, the popular ones subsidize the ones that nobody fucking watches. So like each parent company has like, all right, well you have FX and FX does really well, but maybe they also have Home and Garden Television, which is like, I guess some people watch that because it has like all of the house shows. But I don't know, name a shitty channel. I don't have cable anymore.
Like
Like even Lifetime is
yeah.
like something that lots of
God.
people watch.
Talk about
But lots of people
poor
watch that
quality
shit.
TV.
But anyway,
How
so
does
let's just
that
use that
still
as an
exist?
example.
Yes,
Like let's say
Lifetime,
they're under the
perfect.
same umbrella as AMC. Because they might be. Who knows? AMC's money and everyone else's money gets distributed not evenly, but like down through. So even the lowest common denominator gets more than they're worth.
Yeah.
Because the ones up here are doing so well. And nobody watches this channel. It's you know what I mean. The ratings aren't good enough to like keep it afloat. But it's just like, well, it's one more thing for us to put advertising on, so it stays alive. And I feel like as things like Sling and PlayStation View and all of these things that are taking like you can bundle the channels that you want, or more or less. It's less arbitrary anyway.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of that shit's gonna die off, and all these channels that are like just reality shows at this point, like MTV. MTV's not MTV anymore.
No.
MTV needs to change its name to something else. They don't even call it the VMAs anymore because there aren't music videos anymore. They don't exist. So they had to change it to like the Film and TV something awards.
It was great because during this transition, right, when reality TV was taking over, MTV started getting into it, and VH1 was not.
Right.
So VH1
and then they had the worst ones.
Yeah, it started producing their own, and what they do, History Channel did the same thing. They created a separate VH1 to hold on to like their pop-up video stuff and the stuff like their classic viewers like.
Isn't it called VH1 Classic?
Yeah, History Channel did the same thing. They're like, all right, we'll make History Channel reality TV, nothing but, and then we'll use that money to support History Channel International
or whatever, sure.
and that would keep their classic stuff going. But then it just started. It's like we have so much product, let's just throw it on our backup. So now
it's
like,
so easy to make reality TV.
now
You
it's
take
like
some of this.
VH1 Classic is just classic reality TV.
Yeah.
Because I want to watch it a second time.
Yeah. So I think that when you have less people caring about that shit,
But the problem,
because I think that lots of people do watch it, but I don't think that a lot of people compared to, like, a lot of people watched Friends. I don't think a lot of people watch any reality TV show outside of like, and I don't even think the people that were diehard on Survivor and stuff like that watch that anymore.
yeah.
So none of them are like that big. And I think once people realize that like, oh, nobody's watching our shit. And I don't know how Sling and PlayStation View and all these other little things actually pay the companies that do it. I don't know the business model, but I would imagine you're not paying, if you're not getting that channel, you're not paying for the channel that you don't watch.
Correct.
So you have to think that however that money gets paid out, they're going to be like, oh shit, we can't make that crap anymore on this channel because nobody's buying it.
But the problem is that it's tough for me to see like it dwindling anytime soon when you have Fox just created You the Jury, where you watch people. I think they're civil suits.
So it's like Judge Judy.
It's
type
Judge
cases.
Judy type cases. Although their trailer makes it seem like they're dealing with murderers because like you're in the courtroom with a murderer.
Bum, bum, bum.
And then he probably just didn't pay his parking tickets or something. But
a murderer of justice.
Great TV show. I think that would be a great TV show. So you vote. You have 5 minutes. You'll hear the case. You'll hear the defense. You'll hear the prosecutor, and then you text in guilty, not guilty to 444-544, and there you go. He's guilty. And then these are decisions that were already made, and whatever happens, it overturns or confirms the decision. So a judge already ruled on these cases. So now,
but Joe nobody on their couch could text in something and change someone else's life. Awesome. Well, I guess not change. Well, I guess in some cases it would change someone's life, but still, that's absurd. That's absurd.
But with that happening, like I see that
they're
taking
making
off
it more ridiculous.
Yeah, like
then less ridiculous.
Because people will watch that and be like, "Oh my god, holy!" I can. How long that type of show will last, I don't know. But then you have like
because they're taking like the American Idol voice, whatever, where you like vote to keep someone around, model to real life, not just like imaginary reality TV stuff. And it's like, what?
Black Mirror, right? Or
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror. They had that, right? Like you just sit on your bike, you pedal, earn your credits, and then you can go on
whatever
reality
you want.
TV
Yeah.
and try to
try to
showcase
be a
what you're
millionaire.
worth. Yeah, right. So I see that being more of a reality than reality TV actually dying, because people.
Yeah, it'll probably just change. You're probably right.
Because first, if you look at how the internet works, YouTube and all that, like, we're infatuated on other people and their failures and successes, and that's reality TV.
And people
just pings
love
in on that.
people love the Kardashians. So even if whatever channel that is, what channel is that? E, I think. The only reason I know that is because I think Chelsea Handler used to have her show on that channel. But some people love them so much that they would buy the channel in their lineup just to watch that bullshit.
Yeah.
So you're right. It probably won't go away. It's just all of the people who appreciate that kind of garbage will just pay for it separately, which is probably more people.
We talked about this last week. Automation. What's the future for humans? Right there. Reality TV. That's everybody's future.
Everybody's job is to have
is going to be reality TV, and you're just going to watch other people.
So I was thinking about something while we were talking about all this. Was Cops the first one? Oh, Cops is technically a reality TV show, and it's been around forever.
I guarantee there were reality TV shows like in the 80s, because
probably
like, that concept
was
is
Cops
not
around in the 80s, or was Cops 90s?
Yeah, Cops is 80s. I mean, we can look it up.
I'm just gonna Google what the first reality television show was.
Cops. I was gonna say filmed in front of a live studio audience. 1989 was its first episode. That shit's going strong.
It just barely got
white
in
tank tops and all.
In 1983, HBO broadcast An American Family Revisited, the Louds 10 years later. The series inspired the MTV reality television show The Real World. This says like 2003 though. They're definitely, and maybe this is talking about it like in a conventional sense, like Real World is a reality TV show where you're watching everybody do everything.
Yeah. And that, what the heck? I saw something that made me think we're like following the family. I think it's Bravo's, another trash channel, is they do like it's about like an Amish family you follow, which blows my mind because they're Amish.
Yeah.
Why are you following Amish? They're talking to cameras.
They're never going to watch the thing that you.
Well, they shouldn't be using that stuff. They can't use that stuff.
Are they using that stuff?
If you're talking to a camera, right? Like how?
Yeah, but they could drive in a car, or they can't drive in a car, but they can take a ride in a car.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe that's not Amish. Again, how will they ever know that I'm wrong? But like, there's a difference between like Mennonite and Amish and whatever else. And I know some of them can use electricity, but they can't like turn on light switches. But they could use it if it was on, and they can be in cars, but they can't drive a car, and they can use a tractor. Like other people can use tractors around them as long as they're not using it. Like fucking ridiculous nonsense, where it's like contradicts like the thing that they're supposed to be all about.
But it's like there's a bunch of kids who want to leave their Amish family and go into the real world, and then they're like, "Oh, the real world sucks. I want to go back." But they've been banished from
whatever it's called.
They've been banished from their community, and they're like, "Oh, I can't do anything. I'm stuck in nowhere."
But they can't. They don't get banished from that. This is a really weird aside. They have like a trial period in the real world, and they can either come back or stay out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's like a real thing for like, I think it's Amish people.
How?
But they're just like, here, you can go try it and see all the sins of the real world and choose if you want to stay there or not. And then some come back and grow their beards all long, and some of them stay out there as real people.
It'd be terrifying if you're spending your entire childhood as
to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were like an Amish person outside of Las Vegas, and the closest thing to you off of your own little like mini Nightmare Island is the fucking Strip in Las Vegas. Would you just have a heart attack and die? Like, there's more electricity here than I know what to do with.
Nudie cards being thrown at you.
It's just like strippers and drugs and fucking electricity and gambling.
The sin burns. But such a sidetrack.
Yeah, that was weird.
But
Good old Amish.
Yeah, right. And that kind of goes to what reality TV. It's supposed to be reality, but how much of it's fake too at this point. Like bless you.
Thank you.
I watched that and I'm like,
that's not real life.
Yeah. How much is this drama? And then we're show I watched Adam Ruins Everything.
Yeah.
Take it with a grain of salt, right? It's someone's opinions. He does fact check, but right. They talked about people that were on a reality TV show, the Vanderpumps or some, I don't fucking know what that means.
Vanderpumps.
Something about a shoe, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe.
And she's like, yeah, we have normal conversations. And the writers are like, yeah, that would be really cool if you were at a diner and you were fighting about that instead. So they go to a diner
and they fight
about it instead.
And that's the thing. It's like, it's not reality TV and it hasn't been for a long time.
Correct.
Like things like The Hills and all of that shit. From
all
like
the Housewives.
Yeah, it's all heavily scripted, or at least suggested.
Never wish someone to die before until I saw the Housewives.
And it's just one of those things where it's like people don't care that it's not actually reality TV anymore. Like, and I don't know about if Survivor and Big Brother, they used to like coach them on what to say. It's entirely possible that it's been bullshit the whole time, but it's definitely at the very least more bullshit now than it was then.
Yeah.
Where like every little thing that they do and everyone who has a fight and everyone that looks this way and looks that way are doing it for a reason.
Yep.
Because someone said, hey, you have to look at the camera here and then this thing has to happen. And it's like, oh, this is so real. It's like, it's just like having your own, it's like playing yourself in a TV show is basically what it is. It's not reality. It's you have to learn your lines that you have to say, but you're saying them as yourself.
Yeah, and kind of to wrap this up, wasn't there like a Showtime or HBO show where it's about a reality TV show and it's like, the only thing real are the people and they're just trying to get the desired outcome and they're like, oh, this is an interracial couple and they would really hit it off and it would boost our ratings if we got them to sleep together, right? Like it's what is going to generate views for us. So if we can get this outcome to happen, let's try to make it happen. And another thing is remember the show Swap? Wife swap,
yes.
It's like this Southern conservative,
and this liberal
communist, or this Black Panther member, and this like KKK former member
swap wives.
What's do you
gonna happen?
To happen?
Yeah. Find out next on a wife swap.
So, just like, I mean, we talked about like 5 shows and it's just garbage. Streaming it to me is the way to go. It's right now. It's trying to find because Katie loves that stuff. I like the sports stuff, and it's tough to find a package that does that. I know you did Sling. View does some of it.
Sling has some of it, and it depends on what you watch because there's no channel for soccer in the package you got.
Exactly.
Like or hockey or because they're played on different channels. Mm-hmm. But it has a lot of. I watch basketball and I watch football, and I only watch football when it's on whatever, like there aren't a whole lot of times where it's on anything but ESPN or NFL Network or whatever, but it has like TNT and TBS and ESPN and ESPN2.
Yeah.
And just like basic stuff. And I'm sure there's some package for soccer. Since you love soccer. But
love soccer.
Yeah. I think that's the way it's going to go, but I don't think the reality TV part of it's going to die anytime soon.
We need to create a service where we package streaming services.
Write up a business plan. We'll go on Shark Tank. Another reality television show.
Are you sick and tired of reality TV? We got the service for you.
Thing for you. Would you like to put yourself out of business?
All right. Well, let us know what you guys think. Are you a fan of reality TV?
And if so, which ones are you a fan of?
What is your dark secret?
Yeah. Tell us.
I'm a Big Brother fan, and I hate that I like it, but I really like it.
Everybody embarrass yourself communally in the comments on things.
And do you use streaming service and cut cable out completely?
Well, I guess that's the thing. Did I cut out cable? Because I'm still watching cable channels. So I guess
You're just delayed.
I just like cheat.
Yeah.
And take only the ones that I want.
Well, let us know in the comments if you have any ideas of future shows you'd like us to talk about. Also, message them in the comments below, or you can message us on Twitter, or
you can leave a comment on our Facebook page,
or
we have an idea submission thing on the website.
That's what I was going to say. Use that
if you want. If you don't want, still do it.
All right,
we
guys.
appreciate it.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.